crowds.
I know.
This is not as pretentious, as contentious. David, you ready? Could you hit record? Are you ready?
We're good. I did everything.
You're good? All right.
We're good.
I'd like to call to order the Town of East Troy Planning Commission for the month of December. I'd like the record to show that all the commissioners are present. So how we work tonight is we work on a split meeting format. Tonight is our informational meeting where we have the presenter come up, give us a little bit of a synopsis of what they're looking for. We'll ask some questions, commissioners, amongst the applicant. Then we'll have a small discussion. Then what I do is I open it up to the audience. If anybody in the audience would like to speak in favor of the proposal, then if anybody would like to speak against the proposal, and then if necessary, a small rebuttal from the applicant. So we gather all our information tonight. We come back in 2 weeks and we make a decision. Now that being said, that's not by ordinance, so if it is a straightforward decision that we feel we can make tonight, we will make that decision tonight. First item on the agenda is to review and approve the Plan Commission minutes from November 2nd. Anybody have any issue with minutes from our last meeting?
I move we accept those minutes.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is a land separation CSM request at N8980 East Miramar Drive, East Troy, parcel number PET 1100032 with Twilight Holdings. You gonna let us know what you want, Mike?
Sure. Michael Greason of B2G Land Surveying. What we have here is one lot, zoned R2. The owner is looking to divide into 3 lots, zoned R2. The minimum square footage is 15,000 square feet, which we are a little bit over on all the lots. Needs 100 feet of frontage on the road, which we all have. The county's done a preliminary review of it. The DOA's done their review. I think you guys have that letter. There is what I call a ditch between lots 2 and 3 that we had the DNR look at to see if it was navigable. They came back, I have a letter saying it's not navigable, so took care of that hurdle. Yeah, the existing house, there's 2 houses, but the smaller one to the east is really not a house, it's just kind of storage. It's pretty bad shape, he's fixing it up. The second house, they're both non-conforming, so the county says if anything happens to them, they gotta be put into conformance at some point, so. If they,
And those two are gonna stay?
yeah, for right now, the plan is for us to stay, so, they're older houses, so I don't know for how long, but if the ever does anything to them, they'll have to get inside the setbacks.
Okay.
So, that's pretty much it, I think. Any questions?
So this is an existing lot, we're not going into that farm field, if you will, or?
Yeah, we're going to that farm field, where that ditch line is between lots 2 and 3,
Right.
that's that tree line, so we
Sure.
do go into that farm field a little bit.
But that's already that piece of property, we're
Yeah.
not,
No, we're not adding to
Scaling.
it, yeah, we're just dividing the existing lot.
okay,
We're not taking 2 lots and chopping up as just 1 lot.
okay. Any questions for the applicant? Okay, thanks. Discussion amongst commissioners. I'm very familiar with this one, this is right where I live. It's already R2, they're not even asking for a zoning change. They're gonna be conforming R2 after it's split. It's a residential neighborhood that has those 15,000 square foot. It's not out of proportion, so that's just my 2 cents. Any other discussion?
Maybe you know the answer to this, Joel, but I know we're a little tight on capacity from a sewer standpoint. How does that get evaluated in these circumstances? So there needs to be 3 sewer lots, right? It's
Yeah,
not
that-
really a zoning concern per
Correct.
se, but
I don't know, that's definitely in District 2, sewage District 2.
do you know, Mark?
We, this it goes to the village, so eventually the village is gonna have to
True.
increase theirs, not,
True.
anything to do with us.
I'm sure what a part of this permit application would be, and if they can't take them, then he'd have to do his own septic, I guess. Yeah, it's a good point, I never even thought of it. Any other discussion for commissioners?
No.
All right, I'd open it up to the audience at this point, would anybody in the audience like to speak in favor of the proposal? Would anybody like to speak against the proposal? Okay, again, my 2 cents is that this is pretty straightforward, no real torches or pitchforks out of the audience, obviously. We could maybe decide on this one tonight.
I motion to approve as presented.
We have a motion to approve the land separation at N8980 Miramar Drive, parcel number PET 11000032. Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Mike. Next item on the agenda is a conditional use, N8651 Stone School Road, parcel number PGRE 00006, Gary Derrick's owner, Winky Construction, yeah.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Travis Winky here, Winky Construction, the builder for Gary Dirks here, property owner. What we are doing is a detached garage on his property. The parcel sits quite a ways off of Stone School Road, about 850 feet, I believe, to the proposed garage. We are tucked back deep in the woods there, on a hillside that we are looking to put a walkout garage with an upper level that is now 6 feet above the approved 25-foot limit. Right now on the front elevation, this is a walkout, so we have 11-foot difference on the front elevation to the rear. It's the natural topography of the property. It's really the only way to build on this section of the lot. If we were to push any further forward, we'd be running into the house. Backwards, we'd be getting into the wetlands. So the area that we're looking for naturally has that grade that we're looking to basically nestle in the garage to the hillside. So the shed roof that starts at about 19 foot above the front elevation is already 6 foot below the code. On the back side, 22 feet from grade to roof, which is already 3 feet below the code as well. Measuring from the back side to the front elevation, which is a grade difference of 11 feet, is where we have the issue. But if my client were to put, 100 loads of fill in there, bring it up to the front elevation, he could build something way taller than the house at that point. So he's building very natural to the topography, and that's what we're trying to get past today is basically 6 feet of a structure.
And having the plans are great, a survey or a site plan would have been more helpful.
We have grading plan and survey right here.
Oh, if I could just take a peek at that, that would be super helpful.
Absolutely. Grading plan as well, a little larger.
Obviously, wetlands are a concern of ours, but at least we can see how far off Stone School Road, there's no other,
The neighboring properties as well, their visibility is very minimal. We also have 3 testimonies from them that they approve the,
Sure. We'll get it coming this way one second.
How large is the parcel, the full parcel?
11 3/4 acres.
Pardon?
11 3/4 acres.
Thank you.
And you're asking for a height variance?
A height variance.
height
That's
variance.
it.
That's it. Everything else is within code and within reason.
Had you considered any other location?
The desire for the outbuilding is to be in close proximity to the house. I'm going to be moving a woodworking workshop out of the basement, which is very tight and cramped, into that upper level of the workshop. And so putting it further away, I'd have to put it way on the front side of the property, essentially what would be the front lawn of the property. The property is very long and narrow, you'll see in a moment. And so the back 6 acres of the property is all wetlands, gives me 5 up front, which is very narrow. I would have to put the outbuilding right in front of the house, essentially. I mean, it wouldn't fit the property, it wouldn't look proper, it wouldn't look good. It's the only other option I have. This way, it's adjacent to the house, easily accessible, makes great use of the place that we have adjacent to the house. We had some oak tree issues recently that we had oak trees die, and so it naturally fits in that space. We're not taking away from the woodlands, we're fitting it in. I don't want to cut down more trees than I have to on the property. It's a very natural hillside area with the wetlands.
And just to clarify, I think you have it in here somewhere, but from peak to, you know, from
So-
grade to peak, if you measure vertically, what's the height of the building?
At that front, so if you walk out of the house, the front door of that outbuilding, from that point up is 19 feet.
Okay, so
If you add in, if you add in the
grade were-
11,
If the grade were flat, it would be a 19-foot.
it would be a 19-foot tall building.
Correct.
Okay.
But then all we're doing is adding the walkout below.
So if we filled it in with thousands of yards of fill, I could build a 25-foot tall building next to my house and it would look way out of sorts.
Sure. The way we designed this is to pretty much camouflage it into the hillside, ironically.
Other questions for the applicant?
That's near Airport Alley, isn't it?
Yes, the Air Troy across the street from us, yes.
Yes, so that will interfere with the aircraft.
And we're not even close to coming above the trees. Where the outbuilding at 19 feet will just be barely 3 feet taller than the house. And so it fits in very nicely. It's not like a normal pole shed or anything like that, that really has a lot of.
ICF and precast, it's
Yeah, it's gonna be
a nice building.
It's gonna be a nice workshop.
Is the workshop for personal use or?
Personal use, oh yes, personal use.
Other questions for the applicant? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Discussion amongst commissioners. We've had one of these not too long ago, I'm thinking maybe a year ago on Lake Beulah, where again, the grade in the front versus the grade in the back, and then it was like one rock that turned over, and that made it non-compliant. I'm not saying that this is that, but again, it's, the Stone School roadside kind of conforms with the house. The backside that nobody sees is taller, technically taller than is allowed, but.
Yeah,
Again,
I mean, the zoning regulations don't really account fully for grade and things. There's not
Absolutely
much
not.
wiggle room there.
Right. Any other discussion amongst commissioners?
Well, to me, he has unique limitations. He has a hardship, and he has neighbor support.
Right.
Touchdown.
At this point, then, I would open it up to the audience. Would anybody in the audience like to speak in favor of the proposal? Would anybody like to speak against the proposal? Okay, I think we could act on this one tonight as well, if anybody would like to make a motion.
I would like to motion that we accept the conditional use request for NA 641 Stone School Road, parcel number PGRE 00006.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is conditional use at W1758 and W1762 South Shore Drive, parcel number PCT 00001, Beulah Sunsets LLC.
Hey,
Great.
good evening, commissioners.
Unique.
I'm here along with Patty and Steve Vincent, the property owners. I'm the architect on the project. We're currently, there's 2 residences on the property, actually 3 residences and about 4 or 5 outbuildings. There's a conditional use permit that is active on the site to allow for the planned unit development of the multiple residences. But as soon as we are proposing a new structure that, once it goes above 25% of the existing use on the property, it voids the existing conditional use permit. So we are here to apply for a new one for the proposed development.
So the existing conditional use is for the multiple residences on
Correct.
R1, I assume it is?
Yes, so on the tip of the peninsula, there's the cottage. It will remain, it's kind of been cleaned up around there. They've redone the shoreline, which is an active permit right now for the erosion and buckthorn and invasive species have all been cleared out. They will, part of that permit with the DNR and Walworth is to replant in the spring, so that's still an active permit. And we will, all the structures towards the south half of the lot will be removed, which are all kind of older structures, dilapidated, and be cleaned up, put into the proper setbacks and proper zoning.
If you're done, I guess I'll open it up to questions. I mean, obviously the plans are, say a million words, so. Any questions for the applicant?
Did you say some of the buildings will be taken down?
There's
All except one,
there's
right?
a shed, there's a garage, there's two older homes in there that are connected, that are all, non-conforming in the setbacks, and a couple of them are more or less falling over that will be removed.
If they're removed, does it take away the issue of land, too much?
So this cottage here,
The one at the tip of the peninsula will remain, and there's a residence there with a shed, so there's two structures at the tip.
Yeah.
And then all the structures where the proposed development will be removed.
So will there remain 2 residents on this property?
Correct. There's only single access off of the street, South Shore, so there's no driveway winding to the tip of the peninsula. The peninsula is completely in the 75-foot setback, so there's no building ever on there. So that structure can remain as is and can be maintained and cleaned up, but can never be added onto.
Any concern on timeline with the shoreline restoration project and building project?
No, most of the shoreline's been restored at this point. I walked the site this evening, and all the hardscape work of the shoreline is done. I think the spring is just planting. There's 75 trees, correct?
Correct.
Part of the permit is to replant it with native bush and trees, so that will come in the spring when we can plant.
Are there any neighbors?
we'll get to that when we open it up to the audience.
Sorry.
No problem. Any other questions for the applicant?
Can you just summarize then, I'm not exactly, it says here you're tearing some buildings down and things, so what is this there today?
There's a site plan on there that shows everything on there. Towards the back of that packet would be Lynch Engineering's drawings. So, there's a garage immediately off the street. There's there's like a kind of a mess hall style structure and a sleeping structure and a couple of sheds, all kind of grouped in the lower portion of this site, and all those will be removed.
So currently there's one home and these accessory structures?
Technically, it's considered 2 residences currently, which is the conditional use that's active on the site, and it will be voided as the new development because of its increase in use, increase in square footage.
And then the impervious surface of 8488, that's the impervious surface of the primary home or in total?
In total, at like 6%, 6 or 7%. It's a 3.5 acre site. The rules on that district on R1 is it can support technically 3 lots, almost 3 lots on that side of the site. Obviously, it's one single lot and it only has access off of one and only one buildable area given the 75-foot short setback.
Other questions for the applicant? Okay, thanks. Go ahead.
I have 2 comments though. The current driveway as shown, it kind of follows the path that the driveway takes currently off the street. It is within the 75-foot setback and will need to be changed to be approved for zoning, which we will do, but we would like to get kind of the thoughts of the board. If we will apply completely separate of this, if the board would ever agree to or hear discussions on a variance for the driveway to keep it kind of where it's at, which is in the setback, 75-foot shore setback. Due to, if we have to locate it, per zoning, we have to remove a few more trees, remove a knoll off South Shore Drive, and it's just something we didn't wanna really do, so we will correct it for zoning to get approval, but our plan is to, if you guys are in somewhat of a verbal okay with that, we would come in again for a variance on that.
Obviously, it's hard to say, we don't know proposed, you know,
Yeah.
but if you're saying in general, it's pretty much where it is now, but it's in the high water setback, I think that's a reasonable request. I'm not here to tell you it's going to get approved.
Yep.
Until you bring it before us, I guess.
Why
Understood.
wouldn't you include it in the,
Um,
request?
You bring up too many things at once. We want to get the house going, want to get approval for the house. Obviously, we are completely able to remove or to put the driveway where it is conforming, but that requires removal of more trees and more grading of a removal of a knoll right off the street. So it's just something we don't want to really do. We want to get this project started and have those discussions, but.
So you would plan to complete this project?
Not complete it. I mean, it would be something, we would use the existing driveway would be the construction driveway. And then before landscaping and all that goes in, we would try to get approval of that.
So you wanna come back, get approval for that change that you would like to make?
Correct.
And
Completely separate.
if you don't get the approval for that, you will make it conform?
Yes. Just something I wanted to bring up to the board and kind of get your thoughts on it. If it was a hard no or open to discussion, then we can talk later about it, but, so that was it.
What's the incline?
The incline, it slopes up about 3 feet right off the street, so it kind of picks up real quick where it would have to go, and there's some trees that would have to be removed, so some older oak trees.
Bur oaks?
I'm not sure if they're bur oaks or not. They're good mature trees, so just something we were trying to be cognitive about in the lot, so
Anything else?
that's it.
Okay, any other questions then for the applicant? Thanks.
Appreciate it.
All right, then, quick discussion, my take on this one was, it's already got a conditional use for 2 residences, he's kind of re-upping the conditional use. It's already been approved, I feel like they've been a good civic partner, they came to us for all the shoreline erosion control, and, so that's my take on it. I don't know what any other thoughts?
Did we open it up to,
No, we're gonna have discussion first, and then I'll open it up to the audience. Any other?
what's the date of the original, the current conditional use? When was that granted?
No.
Any idea?
The county didn't have a date for it, they have no records of the conditional use. The property is in the same family for 170 years. When we took over the property, it was very run down, and
Sure.
so we've done a fair amount of projects to restore the property and get it back in good working, looking condition.
By assumption, it predates zoning.
Sure.
So it just came with whenever that zoning code was adopted, that this conditional was just grandfathered in.
Sure. Anything else, Ben? Other discussion or questions amongst commissioners? All right, at this point, I'd open it up to the audience. Would anybody in the audience like to speak in favor of the proposal? Would anybody like to speak against the proposal? Okay, again, I'm open to take a motion on this tonight. I don't know how much more we could learn, from visiting the site or talking to anybody at the county. Again, my take is, it's already got it's gonna be a lot better than what it is right now. And it's already got 2 residences, and it's already got a conditional use, albeit grandfathered in, so.
And they do have an understanding that they would come back on the drive.
Correct, because they won't get a permit with a non-conforming drive
Right.
unless they get a variance. So that wouldn't even have to be a condition of approval.
Is the driveway on the plan shown as,
That's non-conforming, we gotta fix that. So,
okay, so this is.
This is what you want.
that's what we prefer, yes, that follows kind of the old route, the current route.
And this is basically where the existing drive is.
Yes.
Entering.
The apron off the street and that, so, at 75, it's a unique lot, and that 75-foot shoreline setback pushes us to a real small little piece of land that's buildable for the driveway and the house.
And there's an incredible amount of charm behind South Shore as you drive down into that area, you know, so I'm just gonna say that, you know, those nicks and those curves and stuff in the trees, it's nice.
Yeah.
Not easy to turn around, that's nice.
Just one question from earlier. No one spoke against the project, but it seems that there is one neighbor to the west. Or are there any neighbors?
We do have some neighbors, it's, the one to the west has just completed a new construction. We've talked to all the neighbors, nobody's opposed to.
And nobody's here
Right.
to oppose it, right?
Got it? Thank you.
I'm just a little confused about the driveway, so if you had a plan here, do you think is it likely to change?
It will be, it's in for zoning review with Walworth, pending this outcome.
Mm-hmm.
It will be denied as is, so we will fix it. It was just kind of one of those overlooks on our part, because we were following the old driveway and it got called out. We will fix it on the resubmittal, but there's no need for a resubmittal if we don't get past this.
Sure. So I mean,
So it's
we're not necessarily approving this layout, you know, we're giving them an extension of their conditional use or a re-up of their conditional use. The specifics, you know, still would have to go through permitting, and again, like you said, it's non-conforming, it'll get denied. He'll apply for a variance. If he gets the variance, he leaves it. If he doesn't get the variance, he redraws it.
My thinking is if the driveway, if the driveway as written is what you plan to come back with, I think we could incorporate that into a decision.
I don't wanna do that because we've gotten into trouble adding things.
Yeah.
It's not on the agenda that way. They're just asking for the conditional use. They're not asking for a variance tonight. I understand efficiency.
Voting on, well, present it.
It's just, we've gotten into trouble
Yeah.
changing their proposal to us, so. But,
One step at a time.
Well, okay.
I understand where you're
and
coming
that's why I
from.
asked, is it likely to be a change or not? We have changed, last meeting we did change a proposal.
correct, and we can make contingencies to it, but I guess we're adding now a variance to something that they weren't even asking for. So, that's my caution on that.
So given the fact that they are operating with a conditional use and the satisfactory presentation, I'd like to make a motion
Okay?
to approve the conditional use in order to construct the new single-family home at property PCT 0001 on Island Drive, Island Road,
South Shore Drive.
South Shore
Yes.
Drive, thank you.
Both houses.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Next item on the agenda is a land separation, CSM request at N9135 Stringers Bridge Road, PET 700005B. B, sorry, I'm gonna ruin your name. Fitsky, great.
Good evening. So hopefully the copies you have are in color,
Yes.
because it makes it a little bit easier to follow. So just a little bit of history on this. We just recently purchased the northern part of this plat, which is mainly the blue portion right now. It's south of that, which is 50 acres of land. Originally, these two pieces of land were together. 15 years ago or so, we bought this southern portion. Now we're buying the northern portion of it, so now we have both of them. The issue that we're to the board right now is that there's currently, you can see there on the northern side, it says dirt path. There's an access that goes along the property north of us, and it's not a deeded access, but that's the path that we take to get farm agriculture property into our property, because we have, half of our property is A1 land, and it's currently being farmed. So the driveway that we have is way on the south side of our property, and we can't get agricultural property through there, or equipment through there, because it's too narrow, it's too steep, and it's a gravel road. So what we're proposing is to take a portion of the northern property, the southern portion of it, which is the highlighted area there. The southern side is pink and the top side is blue. We're looking to take less than 3 acres of land from that northern portion, add it to the southern portion, so that we could have a driveway that would be on the northern part of the property that we can put agricultural property through.
So you're taking away from the blue
Yes.
and adding to, I mean, if up is north,
Yes, it is.
okay.
So really, I mean, at this point, the dirt path road that's shown on there is not deeded, it's not on either of these properties.
Sure.
And the person has been pretty decent about letting us have it, but I mean, long term, we don't have any right to that property, to have any northern access to it. So we're trying to look to add it to the southern property. So if we ever do sell the property here, we will have access to our farm property, and it's part of the parcel that's on the southern side. So we went to the Walworth County, and he said that we need to get your approval to be able to put another driveway in, because this is going to be a driveway in between the northern property and southern property.
And the southern property is owned C2? In its entirety?
It's A1 and C2.
Okay.
It's almost right down the middle. Of the 50 acres, it's about 25 A1 and 25 C2.
Okay.
So directly, what you're seeing in this map here, all of that is A1 of the southern portion. I could show you a whole plat if you'd like of the southern portion. This is an older one, but that's the whole 50 acres.
Farm most of it.
The A1 is farmed, yes. Obviously, the C2 is not.
I see.
Here's the C2, C2 one, yeah.
On this side is where the additional lot is. We would be putting the driveway along here to get back there.
To get back to this corner of A1, well,
This-
to
this
all
is-
of it?
This is A1 and this is A1. So
Right.
There's the divider line right
Sure.
there. All this is C2.
Right. Okay.
Do you see it?
Anything else?
This is a division, that's.
No,
there-
Did I cover it all?
Not territory.
Any questions amongst the commission? So, I guess my initial concern was, before your explanation, that we have a non-conforming A1 at 7.99 acres, that we're gonna make more non-conforming. But we're not changing it from A1, it's staying A1 and it's an access road to agricultural, because obviously we all have the same opinions on A1 land. But this makes a lot more sense now that,
Well, when we originally went to the Walworth County, because we didn't know if we could do this. And he said, if you're just adding in a driveway in here, and it still remains, that northern property remains over 5 acres, which it will, he said it's okay with the county, but we have to get the
Sure.
the town to approve another driveway.
So his minimum on this northern lot was 5, and that was Matt or Darren? Matt Wagency?
Darren,
Darren? Cause, I mean, zoning wise, A1 is a 35 acre minimum.
right.
So it's non-conforming, but, I'm kinda curious why you need a separate plot of land to run a road on, to be totally honest.
Well, because if we ever split off that, if we sell that northern property,
It's
we're
landlocked and has.
screwed again. So I
Yeah.
want it to be part of that southern property, so that if we ever sell off that northern property, we'll always have access on the north side to have agricultural equipment to be able to come
Got
in there. Because right now, I mean, when we first started with this whole thing in the northern, dirt road that's there, I had some real arguments with the person that was north of there. He says, you don't have any deeded access to this, and it was like,
Sure.
I just gotta get some agricultural equipment back there, please help me, and he was okay with it, but
Right.
what if he sells his property?
Of course.
And I don't have any way to get back
Sure.
there.
Okay. Questions on the applicant?
Yeah, so I spent most of this time while you're talking through looking at the small version.
I have a bigger one.
Now
at
they
the
have
house.
the copy of the plat survey. The issue is you're trying to get access to this larger southern lot.
So this is the 50 acres.
Okay.
This is A1, as you can see from here. So
Mhm.
this is farm. Of course, there's a house there, but I mean, it's farmed here and it's farmed here, that's all C2. And the current driveway goes through woods, it goes downhill, and it doesn't, we can't get
I see.
anything through there. So what we wanna do is have
The
a northern
equipment comes
access.
through there.
It's much flatter, and we wanna be able to have a deeded access to the northern side to be able to get ag equipment back there. And like I said, if we ever sell the northern piece, I don't want to get into the same
So-
problem.
So then that line, the property line moves to the north.
Yes,
Okay. And that's due to the topography of I see a ditch line, so you can't use the current property to do that, because it's a ditch there or something?
there's a ditch right there, and that whole, I don't know if you're familiar with this area, Beulah Bogs on this side. So this is kind of a big kettle right in here in the C2 property, and that was the only place you can get a driveway in. And out here, there is a ditch, and you really can't do anything with getting access through here. So this is a nice flat ability to get a driveway in there.
So you own both
We own
properties now?
both of them
Is that what, are you using that space to get the equipment in and out now?
They-
Or-
If you
or
see
you
the
use
dirt-
that
yeah,
other
we
track,
use
you're
this.
using that?
You're
Yep.
using that
Okay,
there.
so you don't have any improvement there to access it?
We don't own it.
What?
You own both of these?
We don't
Yes,
own,
but
we
you
don't
don't
own this
own
dirt
it.
road.
Right. And
See,
you're
dirt-
using it, but you don't know it?
Right.
Okay, I understand.
Carpet could be pulled out from under you at any moment. Any other questions for the applicant? Okay, thank you. Discussion amongst commissioners. It didn't make sense to me when I was looking at it before the meeting, and now it does. So
Well, I mean, it's not a change in zoning, so it's just, you're.
that was my initial reaction, like, A1, what, we're gonna pave over it? So,
So it's just a moving a
agreed, it's really, I'm kind of like, why is he even here if he owns both pieces of property, built a road, but.
And in terms of the size of that A1 lot, that's really an issue for the county, right? You know, the 35 acre minimum, et cetera, I mean.
Right, so it's gonna be 7.99 remaining, and if Darren says 5 is kind of that lowest non-conforming A1 number, or something above that, so, guess I should lose some weight.
I mean, there's a lot of these types of parcels in the township. right?
Absolutely, there's tons of non-conforming A1, yes. And my initial concern was making it, whenever we make a lot more non-conforming, I'm a little concerned this is a different story. We're not changing the zoning from A1. So any other discussion amongst commissioners? Then I would open it up to the audience. Would anybody in the audience like to speak in favor of the proposal? Would anybody like to speak against the proposal? Okay, I think this is another one that we could act on tonight unless anybody disagrees with me.
I'd make a motion that we approve the rezone for PET 700005B.
We have a motion to approve the land separation. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks.
Thank you.
On to page 2. Next item on the agenda is a variance request at N9425 Island Drive, McGuanago, parcel PI 00007. Kathy Kinnerman.
Karen.
Karen, sorry.
Don't worry.
I'm terrible.
I'm here on behalf of myself and my husband as the owners of the property, our builder, Rob Miller Homes, and our landscape architect, Mariani Landscape. We are, this home, my parents built in 1976, and we are renovating it. And recently, we had a non-standard basement, so we raised the house from the right below the first floor. And in connection with that, we destroyed all our landscape improvements forward of the house, because that's how they had to go to put the beams to raise the house. And all these landscape structures are 50 years old and they needed to be redone anyway. So in connection with the renovation and the rebuild, we're asking for some modifications to our landscape walls, to set of stairs, and so that's what I'm here for. So with regard to the landscape walls, they're very important to the property because they retain the ground against the forward section of the house that's in ground. And there's a steep, the way the property works is there's about a 10 to a 12-foot grade difference from the roadside side of the house to the front side of the house, but the slope, the steepness of the slope is all forward of the house within like 8 feet of the house. And that's why the landscape walls are really important. We know that landscape walls within the 75 feet are no longer allowed if they're built new, but the ones that we have are grandfathered, but we still would like to raise them a little bit to hold more of the dirt, because we're gonna eliminate, we have 3 sets. The first exhibit I showed you, we have 3 sets of landscape walls. We're gonna eliminate the one closest to the house. And then we decided to eliminate the, a good portion. We're reducing our landscape walls by about 80 feet. But then the 80 feet that remains plays an important role in holding the remaining dirt. And so we'd like to raise them in error. I have, but I'm happy to adjust your versions. I said the first retaining wall, which is at about 67 feet from the lake, I said in your memo that we wanted to raise it 3. I'm wrong, we wanted to raise it 12 inches. The second, the landscape architect, I must not have heard correctly. Anyway, it was right before Thanksgiving. The second retaining wall, which is at approximately 73 feet from the lake, we want to raise by 3 feet. So kind of a reversal. And then we would like to shift, there's a set of stairs in the patio that historically have been a nuisance because they're misplaced for safety. And so we just want to shift those to 5 feet. We're not going further into the shore yard. And then as it relates to the retaining walls, we just want a slight modification to make them square instead of rounded. So all these things, you know, we're not changing the impervious surface. We're reducing the amount of retaining walls. We're not changing the shore yard. We're not increasing the runoff. We're maintaining the function that these improvements have had over the many years. So I said again in our memo that I that I met with our neighbors, but I was gonna meet with our neighbors. I sent notice to all our neighbors. And the only feedback that I've gotten is positive, and some haven't responded at all. So, the improvements that we're talking about, asking for adjustments on, are all, they're not within 20 feet of either side yard. They're not in anybody's line of sight, and we believe that there's no harm to the public good.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but they're in the exact same location, right?
Yes,
So,
yes. Yes, they're just raised a little bit, they'll look in better proportion, and there is more dirt to hold.
and your house went up, so it kind of makes sense that your
Yeah.
retaining walls go up.
We're not trying to create, we're trying to make the house look old.
Right. They're not going any closer to the lake.
We're not going
They're
any
very well-
closer to the
they're
lake.
Going further into the 75-foot high water setback.
No.
They're rebuilding in the same place, but taller.
So, and just to be clear, like how much taller? So there's these three different retaining walls and
Right,
there's.
so, the three different, so about 4 feet between the three, so we're eliminating one. So we lost that, the one up close to the house, that one's getting eliminated. Then there was a little bit of a slope between 1 and 2. And so the ones that remain, 2 and 3 if you would, they're picking up that. Plus they're picking up some of the raised house. The house was raised by 2 courses of 8-inch block.
The one closest to the shoreline is being raised,
12 inches.
and the one behind it,
Behind
closer to
it,
the house,
closer to the house,
going up
3
3
feet.
feet.
So,
So slow.
I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
so,
Well, okay, the grade change, you're changing the grade, right? It's pretty steep, it's gonna kinda between
No,
that
we've
first.
historically always had, it hasn't been steep, no.
But the angle's gonna change a little bit, right? Because you're taking out that first retaining wall, this one comes up to match the profile,
Yes,
better
the
match the
first,
profile of the
between
house.
the second retaining wall and the house, yeah, the
So
grade changes.
it's a little
so, yeah,
shallower pitch.
Yeah, yes, it is gonna be a shallower pitch.
Okay.
Because, well, it's just that before it was stair stepped, and now it's not gonna be stair stepped, it's gonna be.
Because you're
yes,
eliminating one wall.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
yes.
okay. But the length is still the same, correct?
We had 160 feet of linear retaining walls, and now we're moving down to 80. Because we're eliminating one and eliminating part of the portion.
I
The green ones? Yeah. Some of this close one is going
That
up.
one's gone, that's
So
totally.
the stuff that's kind of yellow, red, that's all being eliminated.
That first one.
Yeah,
That's right.
that-
Okay, because exhibit 2 and exhibit 3, there's one section.
So it was too many exhibits. I haven't been to school in a long time. This is what we're asking to raise. This is gonna be a small knee wall, and this one's going up 12 inches, this one's going up 3 feet.
Okay, so you're eliminating this section
Yes,
too?
yes.
Okay, so,
Yes.
and there's no stairs because this area will be flat.
Yes, so, it's a lot of money to rebuild these walls, and if the county doesn't want us to rebuild them, so that section we're not gonna put them there. We're far enough, anyway, that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, so, okay, fine, it's fine.
Any other questions for the applicant?
I appreciate the aesthetic issues and the design,
Yeah,
but I think the strength of the hardship is in
the retention. Right,
the lake.
yeah,
And then the safety, I think
Mhm.
the stairs that's a valid point. And lastly, something about the frost layer on the second tier, is that
Well-
a concern for heaving?
well, so the house, what I noticed is over in the corner here is the last exhibit. I dropped it off, but what,
Oh, the fourth exhibit.
I dropped it off, but obviously no one passed it off to you guys.
It wouldn't fit in the thing, and then you sent the email, so I thought that was a part of the email.
Okay,
The
so,
furlong exhibit.
so what this is the pro forma And the reason why the frost wall becomes even more important is because there is that little box is an addition. So we're putting a covered porch right in here.
So you need
And
frost coverage.
so
for
that
your
frost
fence.
coverage on the side.
We got you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so so there, now this wall becomes an important component to that frost wall.
Are there any other questions of the applicant? All right, thank you. I would open it up to the audience. Would anybody in the audience like to speak in favor of the proposal?
The benefits of being last.
Would anybody like to speak against the proposal? All right, I guess I should have, we could do a little bit more discussion. My opinion is that they're in the same place. We're kind of adjusting to the new heights. If it wasn't in the 75-foot high water setback, she wouldn't be here. So, it seems very reasonable to me.
I think there's clearly unique property limitations, clearly a hardship, and no public harm.
You wanna make a
I'll
motion?
make a motion to approve the variance request at parcel number PI 00007 as presented.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
A second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
It's gonna be so pretty because it's gonna look like
It
it's
belongs.
been there forever. That's what we want.
I assume there's no other public comment. Is there any other business for the board? I mean, we don't really need to act on this.
I just need to know if anybody has issue with any of the days.
They're all the first and third Wednesday, so it's no change. And if anybody has, you know, a conflict, just reach out to me. We have alternates. So, if there's not any other business amongst the board, anything from the town board?
No.
Bill? All right, then I would take a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Have fun. Yeah, we'll do, yeah. We're excited.
Not too bad.
That moved pretty well.